The fittest athletes in the world have descended on the Lone Star State. 20 men and 20 women will compete for their share of one of the richest purses in the sport of fitness. 7 events over 3 days will present them with unique and grueling challenges. A rising star looks to continue to establish himself as the man to beat, but the defending champion stands in his way. For the women, the most dominant CrossFit athlete of all time is focused on defending her crown, while a resurgent veteran hopes to bring another championship back home to Iceland. The stars of the sport of fitness are big and bright in Texas. Welcome to the 2021 Rogue Invitational. Dell Diamond in Round Rock, Texas. Usually it is home to the AAA affiliate of the Texas Rangers, the Round Rock Express. But for the next 3 days, it will play host to some of the fittest athletes on earth. They will face 7 challenging events over the next 3 days. And this is the first really good look the fans will get at these men and women since the CrossFit Games back in August.
Let's kick off the weekend here at the 2021 Noble CrossFit Games.
Toomey goes 2 for 2 inside the Coliseum. 4 men battling for 3 spots on the podium. Justin Medeiros trying to become the youngest man to win the CrossFit Games ever. There it is. And Annie Thorisdottir has it. That is priceless. Toomey sprinting to the yoke. Medeiros with 1 to go. And they're going to count it. He's in.
Medeiros is a fighter.
Justin Medeiros is the fittest man on earth. From relative unknown in 2015 to the greatest ever in 2021. For the 5th straight time, Toomey is the fittest woman on earth.
The top 10 women from the CrossFit Games are here at the Rogue Invitational. Toomey has won this competition both times it has been held and is looking to defend her title yet again. 3 other women who have won the title of fittest on earth are also in the field: Annie Thorisdottir, Catherine Davis-Daughter, and Samantha Briggs. On the men's side, 7 of the top 10 from the Games are here, including reigning fittest man on earth, Justin Medeiros. He's looking to dethrone defending Invitational champ Pat Vellner. Vellner was the man who finished second to Medeiros at the CrossFit Games. It's the 3rd appearance here at this competition for Pat Vellner. He was second back in 2019. This is Medeiros' first appearance at the Rogue Invitational. Event 1 is a chipper presented by GORUCK, up and back, but it's the middle of the event that really looks to be the crux.
10 total rope climbs at right about 16 feet that we saw was the major separator in this chipper.
10 men on the field for this heat. Pat Vellner is your defending Rogue Invitational champion. He will be right in the middle, lined up next to Justin Medeiros, and that is a battle we will be watching throughout this competition. We are underway. The athletes starting with that wheelbarrow pull to the log. 275 pounds has been loaded onto that implement. All the men relatively even on the first part of this event. Jeff Adler at the bottom of your screen, slightly ahead of the pack, along with Alex Vigno. He's in the yellow. After this, they will complete those 10 reps over and under the log on the Zeus rig before moving to the rope. And it's Medeiros and Vellner going rep for rep.
On the up and overs, you're not going to beat everybody on the event here. Get to the ropes with enough energy and wind that you can move through the rope climbs fairly well. You see Cole Sager taking a little pause at the top. Gather himself. We're not going to jack up our heart rates. We're just going to get over this 10 times and then go to where the event really starts. And that's these 5 rope climbs in the middle.
30 pounds in those ruck packs as Justin Medeiros and Pat Vellner move to the rope at the same time. Cole Sager is there as well, and in lane 8, it's Alex Vigno who's on the lead pace. But remember, in the last heat, The men who led at this point were not the men who crossed the finish line first.
And they led because they went out too fast. And here's where you look at an event a little bit differently as an athlete. You're not afraid of it. You're not afraid of how difficult it's going to be. You're afraid that what if I hopped up too soon, didn't know it, and then my grip goes and then it's over. We saw what happened to Jason Smith, Andre Uday, and Uldis Upenix in heat number 1. So that becomes the scary part of the event. Not necessarily the fatigue overall as far as the test is concerned. You got to manage your work here for these 5 rope climbs.
There is Cole Sager, who is making his 3rd appearance at the Rogue Invitational. He was 3rd in 2019, 11th in 2020, and has 1 event win here at this competition. Justin Medeiros in lane 5, though, is your leader right now in the heat as we have passed the 2-minute mark. The unofficial time to beat belongs to Jason Hopper at 9 minutes, 9 seconds. 1 rope climb remains on this initial set of 5 for Justin Medeiros, making his first ever appearance here at the Rogue Invitational, but he is the man who comes in with the momentum after winning the CrossFit Games in August.
And here's one thing that's interesting. We said it's a 16-foot rope. For most people, most games athletes, that's 2 pulls. That's if you can jump. Now with the dead stop, it becomes 4.
Pat Vellner has overtaken Medeiros for the lead, as Vellner will be the first man to Mater Hill. 3 sandbags that weigh 50 pounds. He's got to tote up that incline. Justin Medeiros is right behind him, and now the battle that many people wanted to see here is playing out early in event number 1.
And this is where you try to, you don't get a break, but there's really not a lot of intensity in the middle portion. Make sure we get down the hill safely. We pick up our ruck right away and we make our way up. You can't exactly outrace people on the hillside unless you're willing to sacrifice some of that work capacity, that VO2 lungs in the middle part once they get back to the rope.
Pat Vellner is your early leader here on the hill. We'll have more from Event 1 at the Rogue Invitational when we return to Dell Diamond in Round Rock, Texas.
The 2021 Rogue Invitational on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Rogue. Don't weaken.
Event 1 continues here at the Rogue Invitational. Pat Vellner was able to hold on to his lead through the sandbag carries up the hill. He is in the final stages of his second 5 rope climbs. Cole Sager trying to keep pace with Vellner. Sager on his 3rd of 5 climbs. Once the athletes are done with this portion of the event, they will move back to the log for 10 over-unders for closing with the wheelbarrow push to the finish. Vellner looking to start his Invitational off with an event win and earn 100 points in the process. Justin Medeiros trying to keep pace with Vellner and maybe overtake him here late in the event.
See Medeiros on the right. Last time he went up there, he tried to do 4 climbs, but he came a couple inches short, so he had to do a complete extra grab and pull.
And Pat Vellner is the first man done with his 5 rope climbs, and he will get to work on his final set of 10 up and over that log. Medeiros is taking a sizable break here, and he has 1 rope climb remaining. So Pat Vellner looking to track down Jason Hopper's top time, unofficially of 9 minutes, 9 seconds, and rack up an early event win here and start off his title defense with 100 points in his pocket.
And it's not a time that he knows. The clocks weren't working on the field in Heat 1, so Pat has no idea what the time to beat is.
Here comes Justin Medeiros in second place, but right behind him is Cole Sager. And now Bjorn Carl Gudmundsson on the left side of your screen as we have a 3-way battle for second place. Pat Vellner all by himself as he is back to the wheelbarrow and looking to lock up an event win here.
Now, Vellner may get the win, but Sager at the top right is watching Medeiros and BKG.
Here comes Pat Vellner, and your defending Rogue Invitational champion starts off with 100 points and an event win.
8:01 for Pat Vellner.
And now the battle for second place between Sager, Medeiros, and Bjorn Carl Gudmundsson. Gudmundsson and Medeiros to the wheelbarrow at the same time. Gudmundsson trying to gain ground on Medeiros, and it looks like he's going to run out of real estate. Medeiros' wheelbarrow is down. He is in second. Gudmundsson will take third, and here comes Cole Sager in fourth. 5-point difference between each spot. Pat Vellner will get 100 points, and it's going to be 95 for Justin Medeiros.
Pat Vellner starts off strong with the win. He beats Medeiros by 25 seconds. Björgvin Carl Gudmundsson will take third by just 2 seconds. Cole Sager and Jason Hopper rounding out the top 5. Vellner really efficient, especially in the middle portion of that event.
What I love from Vellner is just how consistent he was from start to finish. He never really went out too fast on the first climbs, never slowed down on the second, and all by himself at the end of the event. This is the start Vellner needs if he wants to regain or keep that title of Rogue Invitational champion.
Kiki Dixon is with Pat Vellner.
Pat, congratulations on this event win. You're the defending champion coming into the Rogue Invitational. How hungry are you for that title this year?
I mean, I'd love to grab it. I think right now it's sort of the tale of two champions right now, right? So I think a lot of people have painted the weekend as seeing how Justin and I stack up, and it's going to be a fun show all weekend. We just kind of showed it, so I think we're for sure keeping an eye on each other, and it's going to be exciting all week long.
We look forward to keeping an eye on the action as well. With the GORUCK, it seemed to impact the rope climbs the most. Where did you feel it?
Yeah, that's exactly it. I think everybody, as we finished, you could hear everybody screaming about the last 2 reps on the rope climb, how it really all piled up, and those last 2 reps could take anywhere from a minute to 3 or 4 minutes, depending on how well you strategize the workout. So it was really won and lost on the rope climbs, and it kind of showed who had that upper body endurance today.
Congratulations. Thanks, Pat.
The defending champ starts off strong with a consistent performance throughout the event. Pat Vellner gets the victory, but Justin Medeiros is lurking after taking second. The women take on event 1 when the Rogue Invitational continues.
We're looking through the events and we see this hill run and we're thinking, we're like, dude, there's like no hills out here. So we're trying to figure out what they're doing. Like maybe it's like a stadium stair run, but they're calling it a hill run. And then we get here and we look out there and they've literally made a man-made turf hill out there.
It's pretty cool. Like I was like, it's totally different. It's pretty cool. It's something innovative.
It looks steep, that hill.
Will burn a little bit. It's gonna be spicy. I like it.
Everybody will probably be thrown off and not really know what's happening.
When you look at it, it's just kind of like, well, that's deceiving because you think it's probably not going to be that bad, but knowing in the middle of the workout, it's actually probably going to be just as bad as you think it is.
Back at Dell Diamond in Round Rock, Texas, the women up next in event number 1. There's a look at Mater Hill in the outfield. Like we saw with the men, the middle of this event is the big challenge.
We'd have an out and back chipper. It starts with that wheelbarrow you see in the front of your screens. We'll go to Zeus, 10 over-unders, but the 10 total climbs, 5 in the front half, 5 on the back half of those 16-foot weighted climbs with that 20-pound GORUCK.
225 pounds on the wheelbarrow for the women, and it's Laura Horvath right in the middle who is out front early.
Sean, you said earlier that she's having a great training offseason since coming off the games, and that's not what she had 2 years ago after the 18 games, where she just couldn't seem to find a rhythm. She had some injuries, but Laura Horvath had one of the best performances ever at the CrossFit Games for an individual. Unfortunately, she's doing it at a time where we have the greatest athlete competing in the sport, and that is Claire Toomey.
Tia Toomey methodically working her way through these over-unders. 5 rope climbs after this, 41 total repetitions. You can see that in the black box on the left side in our scoring readout.
Come back under.
And this is the pace you want to see to start things off. Tia Toomey's so chill. so relaxed. They all got there within 5 seconds of each other. Now, this is where I want to see athletes' technique coming in. You'll see it change as they get tired, but you actually want a very straight arm position as you tuck those knees to your chest. And I feel like Laura Horvath does a very good job of that, because that's very reminiscent of what rope climbing, or not rope climbing, rock climbing is the misconception is you keep your arms close to your body and you don't overextend, and that's actually quite the opposite of what you're supposed to do. And Horvath is doing that. Watch, she'll reach up, completely straighten her arms and let her legs tuck up and then reach up again. So she's never in a contracted, compromised position when it comes to the climb.
At the 19 rep mark, the athletes will move on to the sandbags that they have to carry up to the top of the hill that Rogue has constructed here in center field. Laura Horvath is through 17 of her 41 reps. Annie Thorisdottir and Gabriella Magala are there as well, as you take a look at Tia Toomey.
Toomey had a little bit of a misstep or a missed tag on her last climb. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that's detrimental, but you have enough of those where it adds an extra climb, an extra 5 seconds to the climb. It does add up if you can't clean that up. Now, I'm pretty sure she will, because then you realize, okay, on my next climb, I have to reach a little bit higher on my second to last pull to make sure I get those 4 inches I need for the final one.
Haley Adams is also on the lead pace, as Laura Horvath is now done with her first set of 5, and she will be the first woman to move on to the sandbags. Time to beat belongs to Turi Helgadottir. Nine minutes, 32 seconds for her unofficially.
Now, Turi was off the rope at 3:25 when she set her time. Horvath is over 40 seconds ahead of that pace, and I was like, okay, where is Horvath going to give up some ground? Nowhere.
Horvath on her second sandbag carry. Tia Toomey has hoisted her first sandbag as she looks to close the gap with Horvath. Annie Thorisdottir is right there as well. She's putting some pressure on Toomey right now for second place. Can Laura Horvath hang on? We'll have the conclusion of the opening event for the women when the 2021 Rogue Invitational continues.
The 2021 Rogue Invitational on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Ram Trucks, J.D. Power's #1 brand in new vehicle quality.
While we were away, Annie Thorisdottir began to put pressure on Laura Horvath as they completed their final run up the hill and moved back to the rope for the final time. Thorisdottir used a smooth and efficient effort on the climbs to put herself into the lead. Tia Toomey and Haley Adams also managed to pass Horvath and move into second and third place in the heat.
Now you got to go. You're not going to fail the wheelbarrow, but you can lose time on the logs.
Annie Thorisdottir making her second appearance here at the Rogue Invitational. Her last was in 2019 when she finished in third place overall. And Tia Toomey has joined her on the log. And now Laura Horvath is done with her rope climbs, and she is moving on to the log. She is back now in 5th place, as both Gabriella Magala and Haley Adams have moved ahead of her. Thorisdottir is done. Now to the wheelbarrow. One final push to the finish line, and Annie Thorisdottir looking to lock up an event win here. And Annie Thorisdottir continues her incredible year with an event win to start her 2021 Rogue Invitational. Gabriella Magala has passed Tia Toomey. Magala looking to lock up second place. She is in, and now Tia Toomey will take third. She will earn 90 points. Haley Adams is on the wheelbarrow, looking to come in 4th place, as Turi Helgadottir now sits in 5th place in the event. She had the top time in the opening heat. Adams is across. Here comes Laura Horvath.
And Laura Horvath, as we said, is like, I thought she wasn't going to yield anything to anybody, but I think the biggest battle was the pace that she had on her first 5 climbs. That ended up blowing her up on the second 5.
Horvath is in. She will take 5th in the heat after she led in the front half. And the final results, Annie Thorisdottir will pick up the victory. Gabriela Magala edges out Tia Toomey for 2nd. And then it's Haley Adams, followed by Laurel Horvath. Great start for Iceland's Annie Thorisdottir as she will sit atop the overall leaderboard heading into event 2.
Watch her rope climb technique. Annie is one of the only people to do this. She does the natural foot grab about right through the middle, but then she resorts to a very old school technique is where she would used to use a Spanish climb. You didn't see it on that clip, but the old one where you would wrap the rope around your leg almost in a spiral, and what that allows her to do is have a much bigger grab with her legs on the rope. And Annie is so old school that she's probably the only athlete to use that technique ever.
Kiki Dixon is with Annie Thorisdottir.
Annie, there was a bit of a battle going over at the rope climbs, but you had the winning strategy and technique. What was it?
Well, I was trying to pace myself on the way out. Weight saying on the male side, like, you could go hard, but I was one on the second set of rope climbs. And even on the way back on the rope climbs, I'm like, I feel surprisingly good. Maybe I should go faster. And then as soon as I finished the third one, I'm like, uh-oh. My grip might be failing right now. And then I saw the 3 of us all have 1 rope climb left. And I don't know, I'm here to take chances. So I just took a chance and thankfully it paid off.
The defending champ has a win under his belt and a talented challenger right on his heels. Iceland's Annie Thorisdottir is the queen of the hill in event 1, but barbells and a burner are up next. Things are about to get heavy and heated. 6 events remain at the 2021 Rogue Invitational. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports.